G'day again, Stuart Dunne with Universal Rocks, and what we have in front of us is a selection of bits and pieces to put together to form a reptile enclosure. This tank is an imitation tank. It's a tank that I just use to do exactly this, to show the many possibilities of how to decorate, in this case, a reptile enclosure. So I have in front of me right here is one of our flexible backgrounds, and this is a 48 by 20 shelf, yeah, exactly, and it's got all these beautiful ledges in. If you have a close look at that, these ledges, they stick out probably 6-7 inches at the most. The average is sort of 3 or 4 inches, so it doesn't take up too much of your tank, but it certainly gives enough ledges for your animals to climb all over, and they certainly look good when they do that. So what I'm going to do in this case, because the back of the tank is wooden, I'm actually just going to screw it in place. If it was glass, then it would be siliconed in. If it is with big animals, then it's probably just good enough to be screwed. But if you have a lot of really small animals, or some small animals, they might get behind, so that's where you might silicone it in place. And then you might just need a bit of the crushed rock that we use to colour this, to throw on your silicone, and that way you can not see anywhere where it's big blobs of silicone, but it all looks like rock. So here we go. If this was a real tank, where you had a centerpiece of glass and you didn't have the luxury like I do here to put it straight through the front, then what you would do is you would just fold it. Look at that, you can fold it completely, you can't damage this, and then you can feed it in. Hey, by the way, look at that. If you've got a tall tank, that might be great for a really, really tall tank. And I actually love that, by the way. Anyway, you might see model number 36 or something come out like that. But here we go. So if it was a centerpiece of glass in there, you'd fold it like I said, you would feed it through, open it back up like it is, and then screw it or silicone it in place. In this case, I'm actually just going to feed it in this way. I've already done this with some screw holes, so I'm just going to grab my drill and screw straight back in place here. Okay. Now, depending on what sort of animal, like I said, you might want to put a lot more screws in it. Okay, what I've had to do here is, because this is 24 inches high, this background's only around 20 inches high, I've raised that, so I've put a fair bit of gravel in. Okay, so I've built that up. I'll pull the gravel out the back here, so it can rest right up against the back of the tank. Once it's resting at the back of the tank, just push my gravel back or screw it in place, and that's it. Okay, so we've got a lovely background in there. Many things you could do with that if you're really creative and you want to sort of custom make your enclosure rather than just using things off the shelf like I've got. There's a little area up here where you could put a little fitting, run some water coming down here. It would drip into this little pocket here, and then it spills over a couple of areas here, and you could create yourself a little pond down the bottom. So fantastic if you had frogs or some sort of, I don't know, there's a million things you could put in that. So that's one little thing you could do. I'm just going to keep it like that, allowing that animals are going to sun and rest themselves on these ledges. So next thing we want to do is maybe just grab a piece of old driftwood, actually an imitation of old driftwood. I'm going to create some levels terracing with that. So I'm going to push a lot of this gravel back up high. Keep this lower down the front here, cover the edges of the log. Okay, grab another one of these rocks. I'm going to sort of squash it under this ledge, make it look like the ledge is resting on that. I might have to just move my log a little bit. By the way, what I just did before is I grabbed a knife, a sharp knife, and I cut a hole in it, so this can be used as a hide rock. This particular rock, the skin of it is made with the same material that this is, but we've put foam on the back of it, which makes it a lot stronger. So it's really, really rigid, and that's how we make all of our ponds and waterfalls. So just so you know, you can cut it. I'll do a little bit more cutting here, Be careful, real careful. So if I slip, I'm going to sort of slip down that way. But when you cut, and I know you can't really see that well, but when you cut, what you're trying to do is cut at an angle so you don't see the foam, and you're also trying to cut in a fairly realistic shape, as if there was actually a sort of a cutout or broken bit of the rock. If you do a really good job, then that can face where people can see it. If you don't do a really good job, and in this case it's a bit average, so why let people see it? Let's just put that at the back. The animal can come around and go into that anyway. It makes no difference really to you. And if you need to get to your animal, voila, you just lift it up, grab it and pull it out. So in this case, one rock there, log there, maybe a few more little decoration pieces of river stones. The good thing with these pieces is that you can use them matching the other bits and pieces we've got. By all means, if you can find real rock that looks the same, these pieces aren't going to be too heavy, so it's nice and easy to decorate with. So use real ones if you can get them. If not, hey, we make a whole range of them that work for you. I keep jumping down here, grabbing some other pieces down there. Okay, that's okay. Okay, now we'll put some plants in. I've just got a few artificial plants. They could be real plants. Just tuck them in there. A few taller ones to the sides. Okay. A few lower ones right at the front always look good. Okay, I mean this is good enough so far already for a museum. If you went to a zoo or a museum, this is good enough as it is. It's only a matter now of getting the right animal that's going to really suit this environment. So I'm pretty well done there. I'm just going to put the light on top. Okay, it's about right there. Turn it on. Okay, it's not turning on. There we go, we're up and running. There's live TV for you, hey? So actually I tell you what, I want to do one more thing. Look at this, I love these old branches covered in lichen and mosses and air ferns. So just sort of tuck that in there. You can use these to help the animals climb up to. If you're worried about it moving, the great thing is, just as I drilled through our rock into the wood at the background, you can drill through this into the rock, and it'll make it secure enough for the animal to climb all over. So I'm not going to play around with that too much, but that could easily be broken a little bit and pushed in further in the background. You could come and grab some other little pieces like this. You can keep going. Okay, that's the fun thing. This is very easy to work with, and it looks just perfect. So enjoy and look for universal rocks. I'm going to do a lot more segments like this, so you'll see a lot of this for aquariums and reptiles. But also, if you're an outside person, have a look at all the pond stuff that we make and the swimming pool stuff. There's 14 years, or actually since 1997. Well, I've got molds. We've got hundreds and hundreds of different molds to do exactly like this in and outside your house.